Court releases Wen-je without bail in Living Mall case. Taiwan President Ching-te urges fairness in corruption cases. Fatal construction accident at Kaohsiung's Mitsui Lalaport site. Greece declares state of emergency over flood of dead fish. Beijing accuses Philippines of deliberate Coast Guard ships collision. Elon Musk ramps up attacks on Brazil's top judge. South Korean court urge government to fight climate change. Oasis reunion tour.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, September 2nd, and here are your top stories. In local news, the Taipei District Prosecutor's Office investigated the Living Mall case and accused former Taipei Mayor Wen-je of bribery and profiteering. Displaying the charges, the Taipei District Court found insufficient evidence to substantiate the allegations, ruling early this morning to release Ke without bail. However, former Deputy Mayor Peng Zhenshen was detained. The prosecution plans to appeal the decision. Taiwan's President Lai Ching-te discussed ongoing corruption cases involving prominent figures, including People's Party Chairman Wen-je and former Straits Exchange Foundation Chairman Zheng Wen-chan. Lai emphasized that legal investigations should be impartial, urging that any illegal activities, regardless of political affiliation, should be investigated thoroughly. A serious construction accident occurred at the Mitsui Lalaport site in Kaohsiung on September 1st. A tower crane's base collapsed, killing a Vietnamese worker and causing another worker, an operator, to fall from the 10th floor. The Lala Bureau has ordered a work stoppage and is investigating the cause. Mitsui has not yet responded. In global news, Greece declared a month-long state of emergency in its central port city of Volos on Saturday after thousands of freshwater fish died. Authorities have promised extra funds and other support to address the mass die-off, which marks the area's second environmental disaster in a year. The freshwater fish died as a result of devastating floods that hit Greece's central Thessaly region last year. The storms flooded more than 20,000 hectares of land and refilled the nearby Lake Karla, which had been drained in 1962 in an effort to combat malaria, swelling it to 3 times its normal size.
The lake waters have since receded drastically due to a severe drought, forcing the fish toward the Volos port, which empties into the Pagasetic Gulf and the Aegean Sea. However, they cannot survive the salty seawater, leading to thousands of dead fish clogging the waters around the port city. The mayor of Volos criticized the regional authority, accusing it of acting too slowly and stating that the smell from the dead fish was unbearable. Tourism to the region has plummeted by nearly 80% since last year's flooding. The public prosecutor has launched an investigation into the crisis. Greece is experiencing increasing incidents of extreme weather, which scientists link to climate change.
China and the Philippines accused each other of causing a collision between their vessels on Saturday in the latest flare-up of tensions over disputed waters and maritime features in the South China Sea. It was the second confrontation in days near Sabina Shoal, within the internationally recognized exclusive economic zone of the Philippines. The Philippine ship, the Macbuana, has been anchored at Sabina Shoal since mid-April after Manila suspected that China might construct a structure to seize the uninhabited atoll.
China harbored the same suspicions and recently filed a diplomatic protest against the Philippines due to the ship's prolonged presence at the shoal. China is rapidly expanding its military and has become increasingly assertive in pursuing its claim to virtually the entire South China Sea, which is crucial for international trade. The tensions have led to more frequent confrontations, primarily with the Philippines, and could draw in the United States, which is bound by a treaty to defend the Philippines. The long-standing territorial disputes also involve other claimants, including Vietnam, Taiwan, Malaysia, and Brunei. China has rejected a ruling by a UN-backed arbitration panel that negated almost all of its historically based claims in the South China Sea.
Elon Musk ramped up his online attacks on Brazilian Supreme Court Justice Alexandra de Moraes on Thursday, amid an intensifying political and legal battle between the tech billionaire, his companies, and Brazil's highest court. The court announced on Wednesday that it was ordering Musk and X Corp to appoint a legal representative for the social media company in Brazil within 24 hours, or X would face a penalty of suspension of activities there. A suspension of X in Brazil could cause serious business problems for the already embattled social network.
Brazil has a population of more than 171 million active social media users. The nation is preparing for municipal elections in October. Under Brazil's laws, social networks there must employ someone who can receive and consider government takedown notices regarding political misinformation. X has no such employee in Brazil, as the company announced it was removing all its employees from the country earlier this month. Starlink, a satellite internet service operated by SpaceX, is now approved for commercial operations in 105 countries, including Brazil. Starlink has advertised on X under Musk's management, and Musk has encouraged people in Brazil to use Starlink to access X.
South Korea's top court said Thursday that the climate change law does not protect basic human rights and lacks targets to shield future generations, in a landmark ruling after activists blamed the government for failing to effectively tackle climate change. About 200 plaintiffs, including young climate activists and even some infants, have filed petitions to the Constitutional Court since 2020, arguing that their government was violating its citizens' human rights by not doing enough on climate change.
The court asked the legislature to revise the Carbon Neutrality Act by the end of February 2026, acknowledging that the existing law's emission targets did not conform to the Constitution by violating the duty to protect basic rights and failing to protect future generations against a climate crisis. Climate advocacy groups said it was the first high court ruling on a government's climate action in Asia, potentially setting a precedent in a region where similar lawsuits have been filed in Taiwan and Japan. The Korean court ruling was met with cheers, tears, and applause from the plaintiffs, activists, and lawyers, who chanted slogans such as, "The verdict is not the end, but the beginning."
The first sign that the sibling warfare between Noel and Liam Gallagher was coming came during an interview last month. Reflecting on the band's sound, Noel told journalist John Robb, "It's difficult to explain. When I would sing a song, it would sound good. When Liam would sing it, it would sound great." Hearing Noel compliment his brother publicly after 16 years of insults certainly turned a few heads. Few expected that just days later, the band would dramatically reform. A blizzard of headlines and a social media frenzy followed, cutting through the national psyche like the band's two era-defining nights at net worth in 1996. And now we have a reunion.
Tickets for the Oasis comeback tour went on sale on Friday for the pre-sale and Saturday for the general sale, with fans racing to beat each other in the booking queue. Jonathan Dean, who first reported the reunion tour, said, "A deal would have been struck early by promoters, and I've heard numbers bandied around of the Gallagher brothers earning £50 million each. This estimate, made by Birmingham City University, was based on the initial 14 dates. Both Gallaghers have had solo career success, but it's Liam's star that has risen the most in recent years. The pair will benefit from changes in the industry landscape. Streaming wasn't around during Oasis's heyday, but it has helped them reach new audiences in the intervening years."
The answer for last Friday was D, effective. Long prison sentences can be a very effective deterrent for offenders. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of Greece declares state of emergency over flood of dead fish. Number 1, devastating. 毁灭性的，极其严重的。The earthquake had a devastating impact on the city, destroying thousands of homes and leaving many people homeless. Number 2, combat. 战斗与什么做斗争？ The government is taking steps to combat the rising rates of unemployment by creating new job opportunities. Number 3, plummet. 骤降，快速下降。The stock prices plummeted after the company announced its disappointing quarterly results. Now we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I'll see you next time.